So how many people here are single and female? Those are some good numbers. In that case, my name is Sean Driscoll. How you doing? Now, also by raise of hands, how many of you feel like you understand men? That's a lot lower. That's a lot lower. In fact, there was 0. You know, if only somebody would make like a PowerPoint presentation to help you with that.
Agreed.
Oh wait, I need to turn this on. Timing's off now. Wait. You know, I bought this thing from Amazon and everything for this very purpose. And I might just have to use the computer anyway. It's fine. It's all right. Men. A nearly comprehensive guide to the male for the benefit of the inquiring female. By Sean Driscoll. Frank Sinatra. He was a man. And in his wise words, he asked the question, what is a man? You might have the same question. Some other questions you might have could be, why does he behave like that? What is their purpose? How do I convince one to live with me and buy me things for forever? I intend to answer all of these questions and more. But first, some anatomy. Now, this, of course, is not the perfect model for the average man. This is actually Leonardo da Vinci's design for the Vitruvian Man, which was going to be his invention for a man with 8 limbs, but of course he never got around to it. Just like many men can relate, we all have those projects that we don't quite get around to. Let's see if this works. That is the Bible, yeah. So we're going to start off with some basic body parts here. Figure 1 is the noggin. This is a man's main weapon. It's great for dealing great amounts of blunt force. That's pretty much what we've been able to, that's what we use it mostly for. Figure 2, this is great. The auditory data discriminators located on either side of the head. These allow a man to filter in concise, important information and filter out useless, terrible, bad information, such as all the names of his female friends' names and friends and relatives. So, what else do we got? Visual data discriminators. These are great. These allow a man to take in the visual world around him. Fun fact is that they actually deactivate whenever he's within 15 feet of a Victoria's Secret. So that's great. Figure 4 is the auditory data emitter. This is a nice little hole right in the face. It allows a man to project audio, usually in the form of jokes and wrong answers. Figure 5, we have the jar openers. Very self-explanatory. Let's all be adults here. For this one, the groinal area, this is known as the control center. This is where mostly decisions are made. They go through a rigorous 1 to 2 step process. And the thing about that is that you have to have special clearance to access the control center. And for those of you who try to access the control center without proper clearance, there's actually an activated bear trap there. So don't take the risk. It's not worth it. And then lastly, we have the legs. This is supposed to be a man's main tool for lifting furniture, but as he does not actually use that, they've basically become vestigial structures in that regard. Uses and skills. For instance, or I guess mainly, opening pickle jars. We're good for that. Reaching high places. Piggyback rides. Fixing things. Breaking things. Just standing there and looking good, or good enough. They can kiss better than your hand or a tree. Some know what an exhaust manifold is. They're like a pillow, only they cuddle you back while introducing you to the Lord of the Rings Extended Edition. Also, you can show one off to your mom, who is totally not surprised and definitely never stopped believing you would find a man. What does a man think about? Legos. The last time he cried. World War II. How many kindergartners he could successfully fight off before getting overwhelmed and speculating how it might, if at all, be morally justified. And of course, women, followed by self-evaluation, followed by remorse, followed by a desire to start a new hobby, and time travel. Signs of attraction. Now, this is a big one. I know I have all of your attention right now. You might have walked into a room and you've wondered, like, how many of these guys, how many of them are thinking of me or seeing me? So these are some great things to look for whenever you want to know that. Some of those consist of bulging of eyeballs, elongating of the tongue. Sometimes it'll even elongate so much that it rolls out onto the table. The jaw will dislocate and drop to the floor. And their blood pressure will increase to such a degree that the heart actually bypasses the rib cage, and you can physically see it pumping under the skin. Other signs, foghorn noises. You might hear hubba, 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 which if you look in the dictionary, you're not going to actually find a definition for the word hubba. It's actually, after some rigorous research, I was able to find that it's actually a contraction of a phrase that the man is trying to say. He's trying to say, oh my gosh, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I want to make you my wife, and I want to be your good and faithful husband. But all he's able to get out is hubba, hubba, hubba. So, or maybe he's nice to you. So. Oh, and also, take that information with a grain of salt, as all of that was gathered in the year 1949. Fears. This is a big one. We, of course, have a tier list. We have the purple area, which are minor fears, pink, orange, also orange, yellow. And so we'll start with the minor fears. Some of those might be ghosts and ghouls, rogue nose hairs, Australia, and now Australia is there in the minor square only because it's so far away. If it were any closer, it would climb its way up. Weak handshakes and bad penmanship. Next up, a well-done steak. That is worse than Australia. Wild animals, such as bears. Underwear shopping with mom. And saying how he truly feels. Also, male pattern baldness. Malevolent aliens. What if they don't come in peace? That keeps you up at night. Or dying alone in an embarrassing situation. I don't really have any examples, but I know that we've all thought of how that might happen. Almost there at the top is women and commitment. But the ultimate primal fear for a man is your dad. That being, you date a girl, and like, ladies, if you're taking it seriously with a guy and you just leave him in a room alone with your dad, the outcome isn't going to be, oh, maybe they'll be friends. It's not going to happen. Maybe eventually, but I don't know. The ideal woman. Could she be a famous actress, a pageant queen, a swimsuit model? This is more of a, I'm not going to show a swimsuit model up here. Come on, we're in a church. But I just kind of imagine this is more like a POV, like you were looking at a swimsuit model, and then like you feel eyes on you, and you look over, and it's the Queen of England. She's very disappointed in you. Anyway, you'd be surprised that that might not be what men are after. Not exactly. Now, these are more things that men are really, really looking for in a woman. We got loyalty, calmness, cleanliness and hygiene, cleverness, understanding, patience, motherly instincts, or, childbearing hips aren't bad either, if you got them. Not too crazy, you can keep sparse and spread out episodes are usually okay. But, what else we got? Fitness and health. Telekinesis is a good one. I haven't met any women with telekinesis, but I wouldn't mind. And a good smile. What do men eat? They eat meat. How to care for a man once you have one. This is important because once you've finally convinced a man to be with you, these are some things to follow once you have him and to keep him around. First off, tell him every so often that he's a big, strong boy. Pack snacks on outings. If he says he needs to go out back to chop wood, let him be. He's going through some stuff, especially if you don't own a fireplace. Support his dreams and hobbies. Let him outside every once in a while. And understand that a salad is not a main course. This is all I got. In conclusion, men are interesting creatures, aren't they? They're deceptively complex, yet sometimes the exact opposite. But can one truly be tamed? Well, a lot of your friends seem to have done it, so what's wrong with you? Just kidding. But I've taught you all I can. So go out there and do your own research. Thank you.